Call the meeting to order, and we'll do a moment of silent prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Mrs. Frank,
Mayor Kindle.
present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman LaPratte. Here. Councilwoman Sawicki.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here. Okay. Well,
Madam Mayor, City Council, good evening.
good evening.
Evening.
Obviously, we're here tonight for a retirement ceremony for our K-9 Kaiser, who's been with us 8 years. Sergeant Johnson and Kaiser behind me here. I'd like to start by acknowledging and thanking several people who've made the Harper Woods K-9 program possible. Former Chief Jim Burke, Corinne Martin, and everyone at the Grosse Pointe Animal Adoption Society. Without their vision and fundraising efforts, we wouldn't be here tonight. Mayor Kindle, City Manager Szymanski, and the City Council members who have supported the program from the beginning, whether through their attendance at the spaghetti dinners and pancake breakfasts or approval of canine-related purchases. And I'm just a couple names that I always saw at the breakfasts and have been actively involved in the program. Former Mayor Ken Pointer, Margaret Pointer, Representative Veronica Paez, Sharon Peters, Margaret Nelson, Father John from St. Sabas, and any other major supporters of the program I may have missed, I apologize. In the coming weeks, I've had this question several times tonight. In the coming weeks, I will be coming to City Council with our intent to purchase a new dog and continue with the program. For those of you who don't know, when Sergeant Johnson's off duty, Kaiser does not stay at the station. He goes home with Steve. So being a canine handler also takes a commitment from his family. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Steve's wife, Megan, and their 3 children for their sacrifices as well. For the past 8 years, Kaiser has served the residents of Harper Woods and surrounding areas in several roles. Not only did he track bad guys, find discarded weapons, and seize narcotics, but he has also been a tremendous public relations tool for Sergeant Johnson and our police department. Through demonstrations at schools and community events, Kaiser has helped to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. People who may be reluctant to speak to police officers can't resist the urge to walk up and pet the dog or ask questions about his capabilities. This interaction breaks the ice and opens up a longer conversation, which helps to show the human side of our police officers. Kaiser has been a loyal asset to our police department, and we wish him a long and relaxing retirement. Sergeant Johnson and Kaiser, thank you for your service. I've got it. Where do you want me, Maria? Also going to present the dog with a retirement badge, just in case.
Wasn't that long ago that we just sworn in. I know. Yeah.
Did he get his official out of service call?
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. He gets to retire after 8 years. You get it in 25.
Maybe not years.
Yeah, dog. 20. Wait, 56.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm still, it's a lingering little thing from a cold I got a couple of weeks ago up in Flint. I'm not contagious, don't worry.
That's what Valerie said. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna have the council too. So, can the council all stand, please?
Stand right here, or you want to come down?
You stand in your seats, yep. Get a little closer. There you go. First, please continue, sorry, to the left. Have you guys scooch in just a little bit?
You want to get a little tighter?
She's hiding.
Is that better?
Thank you.
It's fine by me. My family says the same thing.
You know, I searched all over our website to see if there were dates for filing applications, but I had to go into the county website to get any dates. So you might want to put it in. Okay. It works for me.
That's why you get a letter specifically for those that come. It will be in the newspaper, it's in the newsletter.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Kaiser.
Oh, I want to shake his hand.
And the little bookends right here.
You take care of Kaiser. You take care of him at home?
All right, take
All
care.
right.
Bye, Kaiser.
Bye, guys.
You guys are doing a great job with that dog.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna take one with his name.
That would be very nice.
Yeah.
He really does look like such a puppy.
He does, look at
He's
him.
got such a kind face.
Ready? Say cheese.
Look at him. He's just laying over.
All the time.
So he's going to take T4 police while he's recovering.
Yeah, that's, for now, there might be, there's some other issues.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been patient with me regarding Kaiser. I said you've been very patient with me with regards to Kaiser.
You need patience. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He tried to make me understand, and I tried to make him understand. I was a postal carrier.
Oh, yeah, not big on dogs, are you? Oh, yeah. I mean, my daughter is very opposed to police dogs. I guess it depends on the dog. You know, it depends on the situation, but still, if that dog is trained. Yeah. Well, that's true. It can definitely do
Okay,
some hurt.
so I need a motion to approve of the minutes.
I don't think anybody can hear you.
Yeah.
One more time.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the regular city council meeting, minutes of the regular city council meeting held February 3rd, 2025, to receive and file the election coordinating committee meeting held February 11th, 2025, and to receive and file the planning commission meeting held February 26th of 2025.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public comment on agenda items. It's a comment on agenda items only, and if you have it, step forward. Seeing none, I need a resolution for the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 14.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, that takes us to old business, we have none, and new business, city manager report.
Okay, item G1, progress payment number 2, final, for the 2024 sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP. Mayor and council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 2, final, on the 2024 sewer rehabilitation by full-length CIPP lining number 180-339. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve payment to Instituform Technologies USA in the amount of $5,152.10 for progress payment number 2, final, on the 2024 sewer rehabilitation by full-length CIPP lining number 180-339.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I have a question that I know our DPW, head of DPW is not here, so I don't know if we can answer this question, but I noticed in other areas of our agenda, we saw quite a large number of water main breaks and water main repair work. A lot of them were called circular cracks. And I know, you know, some of it's probably aging infrastructure, other might be the weather and this sort of thing. But I'm wondering, does this sewer rehabilitation, well, of course this is sewer lines, but if we put liners into those pipes, would that help to reduce the number of cracks?
Liners can, I'll put it this way, liners can prevent leaking, but if a line is going to break or shift and rip a liner, you know, that could happen just because of a weather change. Tom, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, the liners really don't work that well. You're better off just putting your pipe in the ground, but we've had this thaw and freeze cycle so bad the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That there's really nothing you can do about it. It's Michigan, and that's what the circular crack happens, because it's moving up and down.
Oh, I see, okay.
The ground
I was
itself.
curious about that because it seemed like there were so many of them
The ground
that came through.
freeze and thaw, everything on top pushes down, and then it thaws, it brings it up, and everything moves but the pipe, so that it pumps it.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G2, progress payment number 1, DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Project. Mayor and council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 1 on the DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Project number 180-331. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
by resolution approve payment to Super Construction LLC in the amount of $38,205, progress payment number 1 on the DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Project number 180-331.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion?
Madam?
Yes.
So, I know we typically do things, in payments. I know this is, this project is $42,450. We're paying $38,000 now. When do we expect to pay the remainder, and
Well,
what are we expecting before we
yeah,
do
this,
that?
this project is probably 4 or 5% complete, so there's gonna be quite a few, buildings down the road. This is just one of the first ones.
This is the replacement, so
Right.
that's a long
Yeah.
process. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G3, State of Michigan Clean Water Program Project Principal and Interest. Mayor and council attaches a memorandum from the acting treasurer transmitting the principal and interest payment on the State of Michigan Clean Water Program. I have reviewed this and I concur with her recommendation that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make the resolution to approve payment to the U.S. Bank Trust Company in the amount of $175,000 for the principal and $21,875 for the interest payment, a total of $196,875 for the Michigan Clean Water Program.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just want to be clear about this. In our January meeting, we approved the state revolving loan project, and I assume that that's what this is, state revolving loan, through the Clean Water Fund. And at that time, we were told that we were hoping to receive 5.2 million from the state toward this program. Do we know whether we are receiving that? Do we know if this is, how does this work?
Okay, we do have the debt. They call them revenue bonds. I think that this one goes out to, and Kim, correct me if I'm wrong here, 2033. And this is the first payment that we have, and it's due March 25th. And this is the program, I believe, where the principal, there will be some principal forgiveness on this too, as we get a little more ahead in the project and pay some of the payments off.
And this, I thought that this went toward lead abatement also, that the state revolving fund is intended to go toward lead abatement programs as well. Is that not true?
Well, it's clean water, and certainly, that's part of clean water.
Okay, so what we just approved with our first, the bit of business for the second bit of business, progress payment, lead water service replacement, is that part of this program also, or is that a separate program?
That's separate.
Okay, so can you elaborate on how these programs are working together?
What I can do is I can give you that information.
Yes.
Make a note of it and give you, what you're seeking is to know the distinction between the DWSRF and the interest, principal and interest that we're paying on this.
Right, because
Yeah.
everything in my mind is, kind of jumbled together, that it's, we're paying lead abatement here, and we're supposed to be doing this toward the lead program there, and then anticipating some principal forgiveness. So I just kind of need to understand, because I thought that this was all the same thing. And so apparently, because it's not, I'd like to have a better understanding of that.
Sure, I will make sure you get the whole council gets the information.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrada? Yes. Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G4, amended land vacation request. Mayor and council, at your September 16th, 2024 meeting, you approved a land vacation request for a small portion of the cul-de-sac on Lennon in conjunction with the Fraser Square development. It has been brought to our attention that there was an error in the survey that was done, and the legal description that was provided to you by the developer was in error. It was decided to err on the side of caution before filing this land vacation with Wayne County to have you approve the amended legal description and subsequently reapprove the land vacation. I have attached a memorandum from the city clerk with additional information on this matter, as well as the original request and the amended legal description for your review. It is recommended that this amended land vacation be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Make the resolution to approve the land vacation request from Robertson Brothers and to accept the updated legal description for the portion of the cul-de-sac on Lennon as submitted by Robertson Brothers in conjunction with the Fraser Square development.
Support.
Discussion.
Madam Mayor, I know I'm always asking questions, but from my understanding and what I get is that the cul-de-sac that exists on Lennon, that it has been converted into this program, that there was a portion of that cul-de-sac that was not included in the original description?
In the original title, sir, yeah, something like that. There was, anytime you get property with a chain of title, there, in old records, there's bound to be some little things that pop up. And Jill is here. Jill, if you'd like to come and explain a little bit further as to the impact of this.
Good evening, Council. Jill Ferrari for Robertson Brothers and Fraser Square Project. Yes, it was simply a typographic error in the legal description that was submitted when we did the wings of the cul-de-sac vacation a few months back, and we're just correcting that so that we can move forward. We have closed on the property, on the land contract, and we are planning to start the hazardous material removal next week.
Oh, wonderful.
Fantastic.
Now, in essence, it hasn't changed any of the description of what you plan to do. It's just a matter of legal
Correct.
correction.
We just
Okay.
want to make sure that the description is accurate so that down the road, nobody has any issues. Everything is accurate.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions ever?
Yeah, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So in other words, we've closed on this, we moved on. I haven't seen any sort of announcements on it yet. I don't want to run my mouth before I really say the wrong thing.
No, and I don't have any information on a groundbreaking, but as soon as that is planned, that date is planned, I think we just want to make sure the weather is amenable, that we will let everybody know when that's going to happen.
Okay, because I thought there was some funding issues with Wayne County or something, I don't know, but anyway. Okay.
Yes, we did have to modify our funding to move forward, but, we're still happy to be working with Wayne County, and we've closed. We're moving forward.
Good.
Great.
Are there any further questions? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrada? Yes. Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item G5, schedule public hearing, land vacation request, Robertson Brothers. Mayor and council, at their recent planning commission meeting held this week, the members recommended approval of a land vacation for a small parcel of land that was only recently discovered during the closing of the property with the school district that it had not been vacated. This is not to be confused with the previous item. This small piece of parcel is not part of the cul-de-sac, but rather a portion on the east end of the property abutting Harper Avenue. I believe this to be the final step prior to demolition. I have reviewed this and concur with the recommendation a public hearing be held on the land vacation request from Robertson Brothers. Mayor, a motion is requested.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a motion to schedule a public hearing for April 7th, 2025, to hear public comment and input on the request for land vacate on a portion of property located at the end of Lennon, west of Harper Avenue.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Do we need any further clarification?
Madam Mayor, thank you. I assume that we will hear more about this at the public meeting, so I'm willing to wait.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And Mayor and council, that concludes the city manager's reports. And I have a little comment I want to make, that on a couple of our projects, the one for the 2024 sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation, we are under budget by a little over $33,000 on that project.
Fantastic.
And our 2024 sewer rehab by FCIPP lining, we came in at $1,696 below what was the contract awarded. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, bravo.
All right, call the audience. If you have something that you would like to speak on, please step at the podium, state your name, and we'll move from there.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Janetta Tabron. I live on Rose Court. I am Vice President of the Harper Woods Board of Education. And I wanted to give you guys a little information on what's going on in the district. The district will be having professional development on AI training, least, restrict environment training, safety and security presentations, and they will have collaborative classrooms in the elementary school. Now, the least restrict environment training is where they will have special education students in the same classroom as the other students. They won't go out like they used to. The students will be preparing for MSTEP and SAT state assessments. The elementary school, Beacon School, will be having junior chef programs. And this is the most important. Construction has begun in the high school with the partnership with Corewell Health. This will be a clinic where the students and the children in Harper Woods can receive services. It will be for school-age children and special education residents up to age 26. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Reginald Tabron, Rose Court. As many of you know, I take pride in my community. And I was walking on Kelly Road and I noticed a substantial amount of trash on businesses. And I need some clarification on how are these businesses responsible to keep their areas clean? Because I sat there for about 20 minutes, and I didn't see not one person come out to even make an attempt to clean the area. We have these new developments coming up in our community. We're going to eventually have a rec center, and one of the major things that attracts people is cleanliness in the community. And so therefore, I think these businesses should be either fined or set an example to keep their area clean. And or if we receive grants to create street maintenance where people can, come to work and do the job and keep the community clean. So I just need some clarification on what can be done to keep our community clean so that we can have more residents get excited to move into Harper Woods. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Teresa Foster. I live on Woodland. Observation and comment. At the City of Harper Woods Planning Commission meeting held last Wednesday, an agenda item for the new business discussion and ordinance update was introduced to the commission was a draft updated zoning ordinance text, update and zoning map, along with two somewhat not important items. Actually, both were pretty intense documents. Those main purposes was to achieve, implement goals and objectives from the 2023 Master Plan, Modernization Ordinance, provisions as necessary to comply with the current state and federal case laws and regulations, acknowledging changes in development and land use trends to improve the ease of administration. Some serious stuff that requires a basic knowledge of planning principles and related language. That was being explained to the best of their abilities by our planning consultants. Well, during the discussion, a comment was made that although the Planning Commission role is to recommend these documents for adoption to the City Council, it was suggested that more simplified language be used to sell the final adoption to of the documents to the Council. So my comments and follow-up question is, we know that section 4.12 of our city charter states that the council shall maintain a city ordinance, and such ordinance shall provide zoning be coordinated with the work of the city planning commission. That's a given. With these documents being so important to our city moving forward, where was city council representation at the meeting? With the council representative in attendance at these important meetings who can act as a spokesperson for the council and provide information to and from the commission instead of being hand-fed the information later date. Thank you.
Good evening. Kristen Olin Sullivan, Country Club Drive. At the February 3rd meeting, I believe the mayor indicated that a resolution report regarding the GPAS Harper Woods animal control situation would be shared at the March 3rd meeting. And I'm wondering if someone could provide some information about that.
I had a meeting along with Chief Hammerly this morning with the executive director of GPAS and the vice president of their board, and they will be taking the details of that meeting back to their board, and we will sit and wait for correspondence from them. Nothing has been reached.
I understand that, but there's an attempt to reach an agreement of some kind. Is that my understanding?
There was a meeting.
Okay.
There was a meeting. And like I said, both sides got a better understanding of, what's at stake. And again, nothing has been agreed to at this point, and they have to take that to their board and come back to us, with something.
But
So
you're talking. That's a good sign.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
that's kind of where we're at.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is regarding GPAS to Juanita Buzet. I just want to ask the same question I've asked before. Yeah, Juanita. And due to not having the animal control or having GPS at the time, or at the moment, I should say, what are we to do? Because people are seeing dogs, animals, on the loose. And whenever they call, they're said to call Humane Society, but Humane Society will not come here. But that's what they're told. And there was a dog behind Vegas for several days, behind, Vegas Food Center. And there's a picture of it. I have a picture. And it was there like several days, and call Humane Society. So that's my concern, and a vast majority of Harper Woods is concerned about. So that's all I have to say. Okay, thank you.
You know who I am, you know where I live. What I'm bringing up is this speeding problem again. I've had it. I'm done with it. 8 times in the past 2 months. Backing out of my driveway, for crying out loud. I've almost getting clipped. So I'm telling every one of you up there, if something happens to me backing out of my driveway, I'm suing the shit out of this city, and you're gonna owe me so much money that you're gonna have to pay the people that buy my house. And see, I have something on every one of you that you can't say. I lived in this city my whole life. My whole life. 65 years, 1960. I bet I know things that none of you know about this city. Where were you in 1967? I'll tell you. I was standing on the front lawn with my 2 friends. What happens? 2 half-tracks and a tank drive down my street. Do you remember what 1967 was? Now, driver's training. I'll tell you another thing. I bet you don't even know who Mr. Raz is, do you? None of you know who he is, do you? 1975. Give you a little date. We were all excited. 2 cars sitting in the parking lot. Oh, we got training next year. What happens? They put 2 vans there. And I bet not one of you know that Harper Woods, I call it a hub, whatever it was. But it was for everybody around this neighborhood to take driver's training. Mr. Raz, if you want to know who he was a counselor at Harper Woods High School. So I'm just trying to, do any of you know who Dr. Babbage was? I mean, come on. Every time I come here, you people try to tell me I don't know anything about this city. I know secrets about this city you'll never know. And about this speeding problem, if it's not taken care of, come summertime, if you don't know what a 1%er is, you're going to find out. Because they're all coming, and we're going to take care of the street. Craig the Tyrone on Bournemouth. And we're not going to play like you're playing here. We're going to take care of it like we did 30 years ago. They're going to get their asses kicked. I got spike strips and everything else. I'm tired of it. I'm done. You don't want to do anything. I could have it solved in 2 seconds. You give a direct order to the police chief. You want tickets, and more tickets till you're blue in the face, and make sure every police car has enough paper to give out the tickets. Then if you don't have enough courage, you tell this judge, if she doesn't want to do her job, get the hell out. I'm tired of it. And if you don't like me getting loud, I don't care. I've had it. I've lived here my whole life. I love this city, but this shit has got to stop now.
Mayor and council. I'd like to address the mayor and city council about the overdue vacancy of the city manager position. According to the city website, the city manager serves as the city's chief executive officer, responsible for managing the day-to-day operations of the city's consistency with adopted policies and various local state statutes. Every council meeting I attend ends with citizens complaining about the state of the city. We have a disgruntled public safety department. We have the messy creation of the marijuana ordinance. We have a lack of economic growth. The latest issue is the lack of animal enforcement. With every new issue that comes with the opportunity of a new lawsuit. Additionally, taxes keep going up, while Harper Woods looks like one big closed sign. I have to travel outside the communities to spend my money. Can Harper Woods look like Detroit or St. Clair Shores or Roseville, a city that looks like it's open for business? I'd like to ask Harper Woods to stop dragging their feet on the city manager issue. Let's take this spare tire off and get our tire fixed. Thank you.
In regard.
One time only.
No, that would you pass.
One time only.
One time
Oh,
only.
one time? Oh, I was just gonna bring something that he brought.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Williams, Washtenaw Street. I'm new to the community, 1 year. I happen to love Harper Woods, but I would like to address the concerns as a new resident. I spent quite a bit of time walking. I walked this whole area, and I just want to also piggyback on the animal control. I can't even walk my street from the service drive to Kelly without being in fear of a dog. One time I just had to turn around because I was like afraid. Even with people having dogs behind the fences aren't high enough. Their dogs are jumping over, you know. Dogs are on the loose. So as a new resident, I would like to stay a resident, and I would like to feel safe walking in the community. And the second thing I would like to address is the libraries. So I had an incident where I needed to use the library. The library doesn't open until later in the day. Everything within the library, I would like to think, is antiquated in comparison to the Detroit Public Library that's close and the library that's right up there at Veneer and Mack. That's open from 9 to 9, that has better printing capabilities, better services in general. I would prefer to use the Harper Woods Library as opposed to go to an outside library. So if we could do things to address the printing, the faxing, everything about the library is behind in terms of the technology that's available. And the last thing I would like to say is the trash pickup. Is there anything better that can be done about the way trash is picked up? Like, I haven't been here long, but I don't understand why we don't have the big canisters. I don't know if it's a money problem or if it's just like how things go and there's no plans for change. But it's very hard to manage the trash because there's not room to put your trash in if you have a big family. So you're going to be putting out like 3 or 4 trash cans when I could just use one big canister. That is all. I appreciate you guys listening today. Thank you.
All right. It's called to council. So, we'll begin with you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I was listening to, of course, I was listening to the things that you were talking about, and I was wondering about the Harper Woods Business Association. I know a few years that, you know, a lot of the businesses on Kelly did form a business association. And I was thinking that would probably be a good idea to speak with them about trash, because if they're not cleaning up their trash, they should be. And so perhaps, you know, we can get with the Harper Woods Business Association and, you know, talk with them about that problem. And that was it.
I just want to say I appreciate our school board members being here, and you guys have a tough job. As funding is changing and at the federal level, you're going to be really working hard, especially with your special ed students. So it was really nice to hear that they're being included in regular classrooms, and hopefully funding will still come through and we can make it all work. I went to some meetings over the weekend, and you know, I don't want to get political, but you know, everybody look out for their vets. 30% of all government workers are veterans. 20% of all those people that have lost their jobs in the past few weeks are veterans. So our AMVETS, everybody needs to look out for our veterans, look out for everybody, and make sure that everybody's doing okay and, you know, getting all the services that they need. So, but I appreciate our school board coming to these meetings and speaking to us. Thank you.
Really quick, I know we went through on our consent agenda. I just want to really thank the DPW and the contractors for the water main breaks they took care of and the snows we had in the ice, so kudos out to them. That's it for me.
I want to piggyback on what Mrs. LaPratte had said about Mrs. Tabron coming and telling us a little about what's going on at the school district. As a retired teacher, I know that having children with special needs in a classroom can be challenging. I'm hoping that the city is not losing funding for support services for these children who need extra support. And so that's where my concern with that is. Not that I can do anything about it. The schools operate separately from the city. But I'm hoping that, we're not seeing any federal loss of money when it comes to assisting education. So that was one thing. And I know that the concern about the library, I would strongly recommend that you take the concern to the library board, because the library board is the organization that makes all the decisions concerning the library. I looked online to see if I could find when their next library board meeting was, and I could not find that information. But I'm sure that if you stop in at the library, you could find out. But that's something that I think really is important. If you want to see a change, talk to the people that really could, do that. So thank you.
Two things. One thing, we do have a new business that opened up in Harper Woods. There's a new daycare center that just opened up on Harper around Allard. I can't think of the name, but I meant to pick up a card again today about it. So they just had a ribbon cutting last week where the mayor and I from council attended, and a lot of the administrative staff, including Leslie and Maria and several others from the administrative staff, and Parks and Rec and Recreation were there. So they did have a nice turnout from support from Harper Woods. So I'm glad to see we do have a new business that's opened up in the city. My next comment on here is the comment to piggyback off what Lauren was saying. I think it's time for us to consider getting a new real city manager. Now, John has done a good job in carrying us all through, but it has been 5 years, and we do need one. So I would like to make a motion that to the acting city manager and the clerk that we do a job posting to start interviewing for a city manager. So I'm making a motion for that, and I hope to get some support from that. So how do I put that?
How do we do?
You didn't have to be.
He just did it.
He
It just
just
needs
did
to
it?
be supported.
Okay.
I support it.
All right. So a motion has been presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I am, but I'd like to explain why. I think that instead we should offer a full-time position, or rather offer the position to John, because he's been doing it for so long and doing it well. So I don't know if he has any interest, but before we pursue outside of our community, I'd like to see whether that could work. That's the only reason I would say
Give me some
no.
time to think, okay? Believe me, this is not a fun job to be in.
Okay.
So what happened?
So the motion on the floor.
You
is
forgot
that
to
we would
offer
open it
discussion
up
time.
If,
That's good.
the motion on the floor is that we will pursue
Job posting.
a full-time city manager, right?
Yes.
And an amendment to that motion has been that we first allow John to decide whether he wants to be that full-time city manager as opposed to being the full-time financial director.
You need to vote on the first motion, first of all.
We need to vote on the first motion first. So we have moved and supported. Is there any further discussion regarding the job posting for a city manager? correct? So all in favor of opening, listing the job for a city manager, full-time city manager for the city of Harper Woods? The motion, all in favor?
We already did that, didn't we?
Huh?
We already did it.
We already did
Oh, we
it.
already did that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
We did
see.
that.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
She was. And I'm here.
Okay. All right, the motion carries. Now, your amendment to that, or do we even vote on that? I'm asking you, Leslie, do we need to vote on what?
Nope.
No?
That was her part of the discussion.
That was her, okay. All right, then, so motion carries. All right. Cheryl?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here and for your comments, because it's what your comments are really help us know what's going on in the community, because we can't always be everywhere all the time. Couple things. Mrs. Tabron, thanks for bringing what's going on at the schools. The least restrictive environment, I just had that training myself, and that's kind of the trend in special education right now, to put the kids in a normal regular classroom. So that's kind of what they say when they say least restrictive environment. The trash on the businesses on Kelly Road. I know that we were talking about, I thought we passed something maybe 6 years ago or so, of an ordinance for trash at businesses. And I think what we need to do is just crack down on it. And the springtime is the worst. And I was walking or driving home from work today, and I saw people like in the median. I drive down Mound, like 8,000 miles down Mound Road every day and back. There were people in the median cleaning up the trash. And so I know the trash is just really awful at the end of the winter, but that is definitely something that we need to crack down on. These businesses need to be in the habit of every single morning or every night going and picking up the trash, because that's what a good business should do. And so we need to crack down on that. The speeding problem also, that's a problem everywhere as well, especially since COVID, and my friends in other communities complain about it all the time as well. But that being said, cracking down on that's a good idea too. I think maybe, I know we have our excellent law enforcement officers here, that maybe this would be a good time to get out there and just crack down on everything, and make sure that our city is upholding the standards that we've always upheld in the past. I remember in the old days, we were terrified to let the tail end of our car be in the sidewalk for fear that it would be an obstacle, because for sure we would get a ticket. And so we would, pull our cars up really tight in the driveway just so that it wouldn't hang over the sidewalk. Because inevitably a neighbor would call and we would definitely get a ticket. I'm not saying that we need to go to the point of being terrified, but I am saying that we need to get to the point where people start to follow the law. And things were loosened up so much during COVID, and people still haven't gotten back to normal yet. And it's time to get back to normal. And we have these laws. We just need to start pushing them and making sure that our residents and our visitors are following these laws.
All right.
Oh, and yes, big canisters. I think those of us who used to live in Detroit and had access to those big canisters, I think we liked them, and then we moved to Harper Woods. Even though I've been in Harper Woods a long time, I lived in Detroit prior to that, and I had the giant canister, and I'm like, yeah, that was good. You could fit like 4 garbage cans worth of stuff into the canister. We are under a contract right now, but I know we've talked about it, but it would be great when we're done with our contract that we can do something. Also, another company bought out our garbage company, so we're still trying to crack down on them and make sure that they're living up to our standards. They're doing a lot better than they were, but you know, this is something, the big canisters, it's a big transition at first, but once you have them, you just really love them. And so I would be in support of that.
All right, that leaves it to me, and I appreciate everyone's comments and things, because the whole reasons that we are here to serve is to make our community the best place to live. None of us want to live in a pigsty. That's the reason that we all moved here. It's for the reason that we want the best for our community. We want the best quality of life for everyone, not just a few. The speeding is something that is nationwide. And I don't have the answer to those, but I would not I don't appreciate when I hear cars squeaking down my street in the middle of the night, doing 40 to 60 to 80 miles an hour or whatever, from one corner to the next corner. But our policemen cannot be everywhere. And we also have to all work together, because the buck does stop with our judge. And we have to make sure that all the rules that we adhere to, our community, are adhered to by everybody, not just a few. Everybody needs to follow the rules, and we can only be a better community when we all do that. I really appreciate Mr. Tavern for coming every other week, or at least once a week. He comes and gets a couple of big garbage bags full of trash that he takes the time to pick up in our community. You know, instead of just complaining about it, be about the business of doing something that you can do, you know? So I appreciate you, Mr. Tavern, for always doing something extra. We just don't have all the staff that we possibly could. But if each one of us did a little bit more, we'll all be better off. I will be going to Washington, D.C. to get some money.
Good luck. Good luck.
Keep me in your prayers. The climate has changed, but I am up to the challenge. You can only say no so many times. And as a community, we deserve to get our just due. And I don't intend to take no for an answer from anybody. So I will be in Washington next week. I'm praying that I get over this illness. I know I look like a red-eyed cow there, but I don't have pink eye, you guys. My flu went from my chest to my head, and my eyes kind of taking a turn yesterday. But I'm planning on getting better, because I don't want anything to stop me for this trip to the National League of Cities, where we have an opportunity to meet with the president and his staff. And I'm coming there with my hands, and not necessarily on bended knees, but my hand is out hopefully we can get the things that we need. Because of the cost of inflation and everything, our city community center that we're planning on building, the price have almost tripled. So what we got as a grant, we now need a few more millions of dollars to make sure that we have a state-of-the-art community center, which we deserve in our community. We do not have a community center, and I think every place should have a place where their community residents can recreate at and without a cost to them necessarily. That's what I'm going to Washington DC to fight for, and that's what I hope that you guys will keep in me in your prayers for good health and to get good results. Mr. Jennings.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries.